Good evening. We are Boomer Rex tonight. Let me introduce Mr. Boomer Rex himself.
Yeah, hi. Are we somebody else during the day? I think I asked that before.
Yeah, we discussed that the other day. Everyone has one asshole.
Hi, I was going to read your introduction.
And
decided
I
not to.
am RisenLadyHeathen. Back up off me.
I'm sitting close to the mic like you told me to.
Write your own notes.
Stop reading hers.
I'm not.
All right. Let's dig right in. Linwood versus Sidney Powell.
Oh,
What's
I just
up with
love
that.
So, again, the Kyle Rittenhouse just kind of kicked this off again with his fight with Linwood.
Of course.
But the point is that the folks who are willing to fund the big lie, that number of folks is going down, right? They've already paid their money. They've been told innumerable times that, Donald Trump would be president by the 20th of January or by March the 4th or March the 20th.
And that money is better spent on the
August
campaigns for election board person number 4.
So anyway, here we are. We got the hogs trying so hard. Keep their little noses in the money trough.
Yep.
And so what you need to do is chase away some of the hogs. And so what is the absolute worst thing that you could claim they were? Linwood says, after doing the research and connecting the dots, I've reached the conclusion the Stop the Steal organization is a deep state organization to raise money for purposes other than to fix 2020.
It's about the Underground Road in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And all the tunnels between the Walmarts that are being used to imprison the... Oh, God.
Barnabas, deliver me from the fucking drivel.
Tunnels between Walmart.
Oh, that was Jade Helm. That was when 1,200 Navy SEALs or special operators were gonna hold down all of Texas.
Yeah.
Okay, in the nicest possible way, 1,200 operators can about control a McDonald's and its parking lot. Kinda. If you don't mind what happens all the time.
So, anyway, but I love it. Accusing each other of being deep state.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's worse than being a Satanist.
Well, it's probably hand in hand. I think to be a deep statey, you've got to have eaten at least 3 baby faces.
Yeah, okay.
You've got to have, 2 coup merit badges, 1 assault into Germany with Delta Force.
To find the server.
Or to put the malware in. I don't know what they're ever on about. I was listening to the Thanksathon today, and my problem is it's a monotone of just 150 proof lunacy.
Yeah.
No, and they're just repeating the same shit over and over again.
Yep.
They have new experts on to rehash all the stuff that's already been disproven.
But hey, they've got codes for deep discount on pillows.
I get you. I have a toxic
Don't
amount of
buy
news
those
intake.
pillows.
It's not okay. It's going to be what kills me because you guys are just so bad all the time.
Yeah.
And you take pictures
Not
of
even
it.
good at lying.
No, I know at least one of you's got a story about more dumbness.
Yeah.
They're all about more dumbness, but
Anyway, so they seem to be getting what they deserve,
Yep.
right? And so I've got another one like that. The former head of Rio 2016 was sentenced to 30 years in jail for buying votes
goodbye the pen.
to let the city host the
Yeah.
Olympics. And
Oh, the Olympics is scummy, top to bottom, the whole
Yeah.
thing. Only thing that gives it a run for its money in terms of corrupt scumbaggery is FIFA or whatever it is, the soccer kids.
That's FIFA, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I just, he's been convicted, so I can say sentenced to 30 years for buying votes.
Yeah.
Good.
It's also Brazil, so who knows?
Yeah.
But hey, it's always nice when some rich scumbag gets it,
Yeah.
especially 30 years. That's kind of getting it in the backside.
Yeah, what I'm more interested in is 6 months from now when it comes out, who did he offend?
Yeah.
Because how do you, anyway.
Yeah. How does a rich guy get a 30-year sentence?
Yeah, this guy ran out from
Yeah.
under the umbrella of being a rich guy in anywhere,
Yeah.
and let alone an Olympic kid at anywhere.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm sure there's another story, but hey, he got sentenced to 30 years.
Cool. So we want to talk about the COVID-infected Netherlands flight?
Oh, I love that one. Right, we find the Omicron variant in South Africa. We know it's in some other places too. and folks are all trying to come home from South Africa. Okay, fine. So the flights from South Africa to the Netherlands, so 2 flights, about 600 people total. 61 of them tested positive, not for the Omicron.
No.
Okay. Omicron, excuse me, variant. But again, positive for COVID, and we don't know which variant.
Yeah.
So they've all been placed in isolation at a hotel.
How long does it take for us to sequence that?
I don't know how quick the variant, if you have a sample and you want to know which variant it is. I don't know how quick that is.
I was going to say a rude thing about Monsanto about, well, if we have a hard time, they can sequence 100,000 genomes a day.
Yeah, okay. Well,
those are the kids we should probably call.
So
because I do want to know, because those numbers seemed.
Now, in the provinces in South Africa where they had very high COVID and recent spikes, those were Omicron, and were being driven by Omicron. It's like to the 80th percentile.
It's still within the 2-month thing, right?
Yep.
And that's for each locality.
So anyway, clearly, if you're on an airline, you probably weren't down in the barrio, right? You were probably in a nice hotel and, going to the whatever golf tournament it was, or, so anyway, just 10% of them came back with COVID. Okay, that's kind of interesting. And UK has found 2 people with it, which means they've looked at 5 people. Anyway. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, Fauci was saying that he's sure that Omicron is already in.
It seems likely.
For sure. Some influencer went somewhere.
And the part of the problem is we're not doing routine sequencing, right? So it's going to take us a while to figure out where it is.
That's why I'm more interested in.
We still don't have an effective response.
I assume everyone's got a bucket of Omicron now and is spraying their vaccine in it and going, "What's it doing?"
Oh, absolutely.
And those are the numbers I care more about.
Yeah, and I thought they were saying 6 weeks. They're saying in 2 weeks they'll know.
Okay, good.
So, and they said 100 days to put a Delta vaccine on the shelf. So, I'm sorry.
Omicron.
I was using Delta as in a changed vaccine. But anyway, we'll see how it goes.
Fair enough.
But we're still not doing a good job of controlling it. Right? We're not taking our vaccines. We're not wearing our masks.
Look, if you give me a virus that makes them turn into, what the fuck did Rick and Morty turn the planet into? Cronenbergs. You give me a virus that'll Cronenberg some people or turn them into, what was the other one? Bloodthirsty praying manti.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sure. I can absolutely get everyone vaccinated lickety-split.
Except the ones who want to.
That's fucking fine. Yes, no, give me a zombie virus. I can get you the kids to get their shots. But unless we start promising more of them, look, it's not going to kill anybody, but it might turn some of them into zombies. That might increase millennial uptake.
Yeah. Oh, well. And then, of course, the other one is Europe is having these massive COVID protests. The vaccine is designed to poison us all, and the government's overstepping its authority. And I was reading through that and going, the thing you need to recognize here is that the reason it's so similar to the U.S. versions is because that was amplified into their social media channels by the Russians. So, who are very anxious to destabilize Europe.
By a bunch of people, right? We've gotten to the point, right? Because we also talk about it being the algorithm. And it turns out you can drive both. Yeah. And you get an organic upswing of people who want to jump on the influencer train.
That's why the Russians are successful, is that all you need is hits.
The amounts of money you need to make it real influencer, Yeah. Because just I was once at one point looking into somebody had been accused of buying views or something, and I looked into that, and that doesn't take long, and that is not an amount of money.
Yeah,
if you were willing to spend.
So anyhow, it's the same old bad actors doing the same old bad actor routines,
right?
And the algorithm falling for it.
Yep.
Fair.
Well, and Russia having done one of the most creative things, and I give, like, this is part of being a child of the Cold War, right? There's a reason I speak Russian. Like, I was raised that the Krasnovians were the goddamn bad guys. Or at least weren't maybe the bad guys, but if we failed to get along, if, like, somebody screwed up at a high enough level, we were all going to die in a torrent of fire.
Duck and cover.
No, I didn't even have
You
that.
never did duck
No,
and cover.
no
Yeah.
shit. They weren't
We had
even
figured
about
out
to
by
lie.
then. Yeah.
Yeah, the cities just get crushed. So, anyway, yeah, Russia created this amazing blind spot and fell out because that's one of the things in the Thanksathon. It's always China and Iran. And I mean, those are not the most awesome of countries. I agree. But how did Russia fall off the list? And the answer is they got close with the NRA. They're all about guns, conservative religion, and they let you come to their country and say all kinds of horrible shit about the Gola boys.
And they intervened for Trump in 2016 and 2020.
Yeah.
And we know they did.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I
anyway,
thought,
so you
what's
wouldn't
his-
want to mention that if you had
But they drove the advertising because again, loads of our side fucked up by babbling on about like they hacked machines. We have no idea, and we aren't ever going to look. Is the outcome answer of that right? DHS had a chance, and that wasn't a thing we did. But
Well, and
why
I-
would you bother when you can get them in the thing? It's fucking Inception, and we log into it, right? That people think routinely people complain that they think their phone is listening to them because the ads are so good. And no, we just know every bit of media that was available to your area, what your standard consumer pattern is, and what you've seen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we've got
maybe
an
what your
80%
friends Googled
chance.
and, yeah.
Of getting it right.
Yeah, and your friends Googled. That's the easy one because you and your friends talked about a thing, and then one of you Googled some stuff.
Yep.
So,
But again, voting machines are never on the internet.
yeah.
Um,
It's
You have to have
174,000 polling places in the United States. You need to put dudes on the ground everywhere. And if you really
you have
think
to
America is
physically
so
touch
penetrated
every-
that that is an option for a foreign country, it's over. Again, it's like the dumber versions of the 9/11 was an inside job. If that's the case, they've won. And what are you talking about? Like,
Yep.
that's when you should go for the Capitol. Don't go for the Capitol.
Well, and I was watching a show today where I don't know, was it Steve Bannon? It was one of those right wing crazies. Was on an Asian
Yeah.
TV channel with like a bunch of Asian people talking about these Trumpist whatever beliefs and stuff and explaining that this is happening everywhere and blah 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 blah. And it was fucking insane.
Well, and part of that is the English language programming for immigrant communities is so freakishly small. Even a lot of the just current events in foreign language is non-existent.
Yeah.
Right? It's why Bill Murray made a bunch of money selling, I think, one of the whiskeys or bourbon. Who cares?
Bourbon is a whiskey.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's like the champagne thing.
All right. You ready for some good news?
No.
Sure.
Ooh, nachos.
All right. So we were, good news. They had the grand opening of Luxor's Avenue of the Sphinxes. And yeah, it's kind of Hollywood and so forth, but it's also sort of cool.
Yeah.
And hasn't been open for 3,000 years, and it's all cleaned up, and they're letting people tour it, and that's
Yeah,
kind of
didn't
cool.
they do like a big event and
Oh, yeah,
everything?
Yeah. Again, standard grand opening stuff, fireworks, and, again.
Well, but
kinda
didn't they do
Hollywood.
some traditional, like something they used
They
to
did.
do?
Yep. They had a. They had some of the celebration was similar to the older celebrations. So anyway, again,
Historically inspired.
a little bit of historically inspired. I
You
like
gotta get them to look. So I can understand
Yep.
zhuzhing up entertaining things. It's the only way we're gonna keep even a vague handle on any
Yep.
common thread of history.
Yep.
If I
So
ever go to
anyway,
Egypt,
it's
I'll go
open.
there.
So a place to go.
That's why you should like, comment, subscribe, and send us what the hell I usually
Absolutely.
say.
Money. We'll
T-shirts
go take
full of
pictures,
pennies.
videos, that sort of stuff. Yeah, we'll tell you.
Send
all
me a
about
hoodie
it.
full of 20s.
Absolutely. Just send us there.
Yeah.
Send us a lot of money. We'll go in that cool airplane, or on the pirate ship.
On a
the
blimp.
yacht.
My God, we need a blimp.
Oh, a pirate blimp.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're immune to
A
small arms
pirate
fire.
blimp named Yacht.
Yes. Like, comment, subscribe, send me money for exactly that. The internet, it'll be great.
Yeah.
What could
Well, and
possibly
we already
go wrong?
have the images of the pirate blimp, right?
Well, we can get one of those new safer blimps.
Yeah, we're gonna use the Lockheed heavy lift one, but yeah, if it can, unless you guys, the thing you guys are talking about has a better number than 100 tons or whatever.
Yeah. What are we going to carry? Food.
Yeah,
So we can stay up.
gold,
Okay.
brain pills.
Yes.
We'll shower them down on the mass. I don't know the internet. What do you want us to put in there? I want 1 billion drones, and they're all gonna be my best friend.
Absolutely. And we had some other good news, right? The first person ever.
I'm so distrustful of your good news,
No, the first
and
person,
for no reason.
the first person ever has been cured of type 1 diabetes.
I saw the headline.
Shouldn't
Did
we
they CRISPR
in
him?
the future be saving some of this good news for like the end? Because I have a whole lot of
Whole lot of
just
bad news.
bad news.
We can come back to it, but
Like,
No.
comment, subscribe, and stay tuned to find out if you can get type 1
so
diabetes.
how they did it is they trained stem cells to become the islet cells that live in the pancreas, and they regulate blood sugar by producing insulin, right? So they injected him with islet cells. Now, the downside of it is that because they aren't his islet cells, right, that he needs immunosuppressants to, and maybe after a few years he won't, I don't know, but he appears to be cured of type 1 diabetes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do we know? Never mind.
What?
Do we know which of the phenotypes the stem cells are from?
Was it type 1 or type 2, did you say?
Type 1.
Okay.
No, this is where we get quickly into like baby stem cells versus like adult stem cells, and the problem is adult stem cells can only assume 8 of the phenotypes available versus the
Okay.
243.
These were fetal stem cells.
Yeah.
So anyway, no, just good news, and we'll see. This is a real step in the right direction,
I wonder if we could
right?
shock the nucleus out of it and replace it with one of his and clone a bunch of. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry.
Is there some way to type it as his?
Mhm.
Yeah. Or again, maybe after living there for a while, they'll begin to show, him markers instead of
Yeah.
people markers. But
Or
we'll see.
that typo stem cells ends up at some sort of cancer goo
Yep.
scenario quickly.
All right. So I've got one left. You want to talk about flash mobs now or later?
Yeah, you might as well keep going.
Okay. So now again, part of this is reporting bias, right? I'm sure there have been flash mobs
Oh,
other
sure.
places and so on.
They happen all the time.
But they've been,
It's usually not a fourth quarter event.
yeah, well, they seem to have been fairly common recently. They got everybody all torqued up. And I look at that and I go, okay, it's a flash mob. So how do you generate it? Well, you put it on Twitter. Yeah, and the 23rd person who sees it calls the cops.
Probably not in the stealing Reddit.
Okay, so again,
There is some
maybe-
infrastructure for some heavy criminality in America. Like if there is
Okay.
like Wikipedias of crime. Do not do crimes the internet. But
Okay.
I was thinking TikTok. I don't use TikTok to coordinate your. Don't do flash mobs the internet.
Yeah.
Don't do
no,
flash mobs in general. Don't do criminal ones at all.
Yeah, hey, what we're saying is though that somebody has an audience where they can propose a criminal act and nobody turns them in. Okay, I mean, I'm willing to believe those exist, but for them to all suddenly, maybe they'd never thought of it before and they're all now doing it. It's copycat.
I think
thing.
there's definitely a copycat aspect.
Okay.
Yeah, you see a couple people do it and have it work out, and you're like, hey, I got friends that would be down for that.
Well, in the first couple of reports of these, I didn't see that anyone had been arrested. It seems they have caught like 4 at the Nordstrom's or whatever. That the one that seemed to kick this off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because recently there was one at a Best Buy. You said there was one
Yeah.
somewhere else.
There's one at a Home Depot. They went in and stole sledgehammers, hammers, and crowbars. I go, okay, guys, those are low profit items, right?
No,
are they
those
arming
sound
up for
like
the next
you're
one?
keying up to
Yeah.
do a smash and grab
Yeah.
somewhere. Kind of, sort of. I wouldn't take specific. like throw in a vacuum or something. You know what I mean? Like switch it up a bit.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, yeah, you're basically spelling out what you plan on doing next.
Yeah. Anyway, it struck me as interesting that I had a hard time imagining what the channel was that you go to and say, hey, let's do Home Depot tomorrow at 10 a.m.
That's what I want to hear more about, the handful of people who've been arrested. What's going on here?
Yeah.
This shouldn't, right? We do 3 hops on any of these people, we're going to know what their network of humans looks
Well,
like.
because again, what it is you have a group of 4 friends that sit around one night. They're like, it'd be really cool. And then they
And we
each
can
You
just
grab,
bring 2 friends, and they bring 2
each grab
friends.
their friends, and then they grab other friends, and then you very quickly have a group of 20 to 30 people or more, depending on how connected your friends are and how
You bring 2
willing
desperate
to
friends,
do-
I'll bring 2 desperate friends.
willing to
No,
do the
okay.
bad things.
That
you know what I
actually
mean?
seems to me
Yeah.
to be a more rational way to explain how the crowds are getting that big.
Yeah.
Is that you have a very small nucleus that says we're going to do this, and then
Well, and if
invite
you're smart,
they're
you're doing
committed
this all
friends.
in person. You don't
Yeah.
discuss it ever on your phone or on social media.
Yeah.
You get the group together and you say, we all get together at X and such a time on this day at this position, and then move from there.
Yeah.
Or there's a new Secret Squirrel FBI criminals app that they're using to coordinate on. And everybody's about to get charged with a thing adjacent to what they did.
Yeah. Okay.
Because, yeah. It's like when you steal a bait car. You don't get charged with Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
Because then they got to talk a lot about the auto.
Okay.
No, you get charged with vehicular burglary or whatever it is. Because you were in a vehicle you had no right to be in.
Okay.
Or criminal trespass or 12 other things.
Yeah. Anyway, I figured I could get together a flash mob of 40 people. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Not with criminal intent.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
It's just show up all at the same place, all at the same time. And we've done that with, hey, we're going to catch a beer tonight after work.
Yeah.
And had it get to be 15, 20 people
Yeah, it's
instantly.
company party.
Yeah. So, okay. But for a criminal act, I like your idea. It grew out of a central core that had friends they absolutely trusted and already knew were criminals.
Well, you not necessarily, but we're desperate enough to try some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I just found it interesting.
Yeah. And we.
I thought you were not advocating, but
No.
I thought you were discussing the possibility of someone generating one like what was the one where everyone would like hopping and be dancing? The Harlem something.
Harlem Shake.
Yes.
Yeah.
So because people would show up for that, right? So get you
I
a
know.
really big one, and everyone dressed like you work at Best Buy. It'd be really funny, right, guys?
Yeah.
And then you take a small team of like 10 people and just start taking stuff out.
Yeah.
Don't do crimes the internet.
I know. That's the sad part of being smart, is you find yourself trying to improve the plan. What was the damn movie?
A Simple Plan.
A Simple Plan.
I don't think I've ever seen the movie. The book, though. I agree.
Same thing.
You find a big
Is you
pile
keep-
of drug money in the
Yeah.
woods. What do? And whoops.
Yeah.
And you go through, and at every choice, you're like, no, hold on, wait, shut up. You can still
We
fix
can do it better than this. Yep. Oh, God. Anyway.
And yeah, you absolutely could.
So
Go
what
to
have you
Macau.
got?
Oh, I got a bunch of stuff, but none of it's happy.
Well, we'll come back to,
Happy Thanksgiving, the stuff, the internet.
yeah.
So there's been another Black Friday shooting reported in the Tacoma Mall in Washington, or in the Tacoma Mall in Washington.
Yeah.
I've been there. It's nice.
They're still looking for the shooter.
He's been captured. The reason they said they were still looking for him was because he had taken hostages in the mall and they were negotiating.
Ah.
Yeah.
I didn't read
He
it.
surrendered about 4 p.m. this afternoon.
Well, I just did a bunch of that research recently. But anyway, so then it sounds like you have more information on this than I do, so go for it.
No, it was, he had an AR-15 or that, similar weapon, fired up to 20 rounds. Yeah, of course, what the magazine holds. And then
Are you sure this is the same thing?
hurt one person.
Reported 20 shots fired, only one person was injured.
Yeah.
The mall was
That's
locked
exactly what
down.
you're
People sheltered in place.
Yeah.
Um,
And he
the-
sheltered in place with his hostages.
Supposedly the shooting occurred after a disagreement between at least two people. This was early
I hadn't heard
reports.
that. So-
No, because what you're saying sounds to me like something that happened 16 years ago, also at the Tacoma, Washington Mall, on November 20th. It was a mass shooting that ended with the gunman taking 3 hostages, 2 of which were former military. Well, technically 4, but there was a 10-year-old that he let go.
Maybe I just didn't see the date. Okay.
No,
Because this does
because-
sound like what I was reading.
So he took 3 hostages, 2 of which were former military, and managed to talk him down.
Yeah.
This is
And-
the old timey one, not the what happened.
This is the old one that happened 16 years ago,
Cool.
on
Okay.
November 20th, I think it was 2005 or whatever.
Yeah.
But they managed to talk him down, and he
Yeah,
let them
he
all go,
surrendered.
and he's now serving a 163-year sentence.
Okay.
So what happened today?
So the information on what I got that happened today was just everything I just said. Supposedly, they're still looking for the shooter. 1 person was injured. 20 shots reported fired. The mall locked down. People sheltered in place.
Yeah.
And it's open again. So there's been people there. It opened again this morning. And it supposedly was a disagreement between 2 people.
Okay.
But
2 different things.
yeah, so I don't know if
I'll have to be more careful
if
because it's
you were confused
it's fairly
one for the other.
routine. Yeah.
Because what happened in the stories I was reading is that they led from this one into the one that happened 16 years ago. So if you were just scanning it, I could see that you would confuse
Yeah.
the 2 easily.
Yeah, that's what most of my searches while we were talking were bringing up.
Which one?
The old timey one.
Okay.
Just because it's the same address and that's all the machines
Okay.
that do the pre-story research are going to be seeing.
Yeah. Okay.
But I wasn't able to find any updated information on the one that
Okay.
happened this
Yeah.
yesterday.
The story I found from 7 hours ago, like you said, had no good
Had not been
resolution.
found.
Yeah, but a lot of the stories included this other whatever, because I remember
Yeah.
reading it and then being confused and being like, wait, 16
One's an
years ago,
interesting
what
story.
I
happened?
clearly never bothered to get confused. So thank you. What's next?
Yeah, what
So-
new rays of sunshine do you have?
Susan Mulligan from U.S. News did an article on the war against New Jersey and other blue states.
Oh, yeah.
So the usual boring discussions of taxes and such that happen between the right and the left
The salt.
have
Yeah.
quickly
Agreement.
turned into an all-out war. So SALT, which is state and local tax deductions, and Wikipedia describes them as thus, I will read it to you. The U.S. federal, state, and local tax deduction is an itemized deduction that allows taxpayers to deduct certain taxes paid to the state and local governments from their adjusted gross income. So in 2017, the GOP-run Congress passed a law that limited the SALT deduction to $10,000. The theory is that a limit on a tax deduction hits richer people harder or exclusively. This particular tax has hit New Jersey, California, New York, and Connecticut taxpayers the hardest.
High tax, high service states.
Oddly enough, not really. All these states are blue. And normally laws like this are adjusted to assist different regions with different monetary needs evenly, right? So they usually kind of spread it out where so-and-so gets more of this and so-and-so gets more of that. And you know what I mean? So that it makes sense. But with recent laws, this is not as much the case as it used to be. Things have been starting to lean highly, one way or highly the other. Often blue states that need help are left to fend for themselves, as in the Hurricane Sandy victims in 2013, which mainly outside of the Northeast voted against sending aid to assist these victims. The Build Back Better Act would raise the SALT deduction to $80,000. The current disagreement is over how much further a salary of $150,000 can go, say, in Mississippi, rather than, say, in New York City or San Francisco. So regional concerns are very real and make a very big difference. You know, if you live in New York City and you make $150,000 a year, you
Have a 1-bedroom apartment.
yeah, might be making ends meet, right?
You might have a roommate.
Exactly. But
No,
if you live in Mississippi, you're gonna live probably pretty comfortable.
this is going to be a fight with the lefter parts of our party, because at some level, if they're making $100,000 a year, fuck, man, I got so many other problems to deal with.
Yeah.
But you're also talking about our, like, the first level of donor class for the party, like the people who can actually write checks that someone might notice.
Well, but you also have to look at the different states in the sense of, so New Jersey has a much higher state taxes and stuff.
Yep.
So when this sort of a thing hits people from New Jersey, it hits them so much harder because they're already paying more for housing. They're already paying more for their property taxes. They're already paying more for their income tax.
There is no route forward that has me live in New England again.
Right. No, and that's why I left. Yeah.
No, New Jersey might want to look into taxing petrochemical products.
Maybe.
They're not going to leave. You have the infrastructure.
Yeah.
You've already got the money in this.
And if they do leave, New Jersey will smell better.
Yeah. And have room to take in new petrochemical products. I assure you, there's something gross somebody wants to do in Jersey.
If you like the
Stay
smell.
slimy and flammable.
Yeah.
So
I love you, New Jersey. Like, parts of you is really pretty. It's just not the part anyone ever gets to see.
That's right.
Which is a good trick. You don't want them to come there. They'll turn it into Connecticut in an afternoon. You'll have hedge funds coming out your ears.
Fair. So let's head overseas. The first winter storm to hit the UK this season savaged areas with wind gusts of nearly up to 100 miles per hour. Winter Storm Arwen hit parts of North England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, closing roads, cutting power, and causing large waves.
None of those places sound like the kind of place that builds up for hurricane level winds.
2 people died from falling trees. One person, I don't know, had a tree fall on them. It didn't really explain it. The other person was driving and had a tree fall on their car. Just crazy. And this storm brings frighteningly powerful gusts of wind and heavy snow, and this will continue.
This is a Cat 1 or Cat 2 hurricane, is what it is. It's definitely a Cat 1.
Fair. No, and again, like you said, a lot of these places aren't tooled up for this.
There's a reason they look like the place you picture when you think of Alice in Wonderland.
Right. I imagine they're similar to the New England area here, where we can handle heavy snowfall, ice, whatever.
100-mile-an-hour
But
winds.
when you throw Hurricane Sandy at us, we're like, we're just all gonna die. It's the end of the world.
Yep. Now we're going to find out whose grandparents taught their parents how to live outdoors sometimes.
Well, yeah, because if you live out in bumfuck nowhere, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, you can be waiting a while for help if it ever comes. So
Several of the kids I knew in a for real city in New England, when the power went out for that long time, right, they were tooling up to go hunting, out in wherever they had to go.
Mine's false.
They were going to drive to the usual places they went hunting, but they had a plan to take, right, they had pared down to one vehicle. They were, thinking about their gas usage, because
yeah,
gas stations can't get the gas out of the ground.
Yeah.
And most of the things everyone's thinking of how you could get it out of the ground are going to fuck up all the gasoline, if not kill everybody when you set it on fire.
Yeah.
Right.
And our electricity was off for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Thank God for little Coleman stoves.
Yeah. No, we used to
And
keep
fireplaces.
We used to keep one just for that purpose when we lose power when we lived out in bumfuck nowhere. But anyway, so let's move over to Siberia. A survivor was found after a Siberian coal mine exploded. 51 people are currently presumed dead. This is believed
That will be interesting.
to be the deadliest methane explosion in a coal mine since 2010 in Siberia. This man's survival is considered a miracle.
Nice.
So 285 miners were in the mine at the time of the explosion Thursday morning, and the explosion quickly filled the mine with toxic smoke. 239 people were rescued soon after the blast, and 14 fatalities were confirmed on Thursday. 11 miners and 3 rescuers who sadly died searching for others trapped in a remote location of the mine.
So those big explosions in Siberia where the methane has built up and something ignites it and it like spits all the rocks out. For a couple of years, we didn't know what these holes were. They had one of those in a mine where there was people. So sort of the opposite of the, like, if the ground explodes in Siberia and there's no one around to hear it.
Right. Did it really happen? Yeah.
Well, because it's one of the, right, that's the permafrost getting set to do something really gross. We do not want to live in what the dinosaurs did. That wasn't an Earth that evolved humans.
Well, no, and as the permafrost is defrosting, aren't they finding some pretty interesting ancient viruses and shit?
Stuff we've never seen.
Yeah, so there could be some bad
Yeah.
things headed our way, not just COVID, because sure, could you imagine while we're trying to still get ahead of COVID, especially with so many people around the world trying to refuse the vax now, could you imagine if one of these old-timey, billions of years ago sort of virus comes back to life and manages to figure out a way to infect humans?
Oh, yeah.
We could be starting to fight on more than one front.
I remember the
which
babbly
could
nonsense
be absolutely terrifying.
in the 80s about drinking glacier water, going, what are you doing? Stop trying to get weird penguin pox.
Right.
Or, like, old-timey virus no human has ever encountered. Like, it went to sleep before we woke up.
Mm-hmm.
No, that'll be fine. I'm sure it'll work out great. It'll make us really smart. That's what we were missing in our intelligent design. The universe was hoping we'd dig it up faster.
There you go.
That's the cheat code. Then we'll get telepathy or any of the other things that I am no fun to talk about because I'm like, okay, cool, but just tell me what organ that's using.
But it was left there by aliens for us to find when we finally began to overheat our planet, so we couldn't live there anymore.
No, this is why I'm no fun to talk about superpowers with, because
Dude, I'm hoping that we find Megatron. I'm all about it.
Oh, goddamn, I hope.
Well,
I would
because
be
if
down
there's
for
Megatron,
Transformers
that
Apocalypse.
also means that there's going to be an Optimus Prime, and I'm fucking down.
I'm down for sea monsters. It should be something cool, not just, turns out we just used cell phones and cars till everything died.
Put the Kraken back where it
Good
goes.
luck, kids.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. At this point, I am all about an alien invasion. At least it'd make life more interesting.
I would fake aliens, honestly. Like, U.S. government. I know you're listening. Fake aliens.
No,
Just it's so easy to do. Just like throw a satellite out, don't tell anyone.
No, and again, today was another one of those like shitty news days where you're kind of digging at the bottom of the trough trying to like find stuff to talk about.
No, we
One
need
of
a
those
unifying
days.
external threat. It's the only thing that's ever gotten Americans even vaguely on the same page. And remember, we weren't on the same page about the Nazis. You look at Madison Square Garden in 1938 and, oh shit, damn, a lot of Americans thought that was a cool design.
Yeah.
They were kind of, and the times were fucking horrific. But I can understand how it got sold. That was some top tier, like, propaganda shit. So, like, from real propaganda officers, right? Again, the thing we misunderstand when we talk about the Russian involvement in the elections and we talk about the however many Russians we think we've got charges against. First off, I doubt we have their names.
Right.
I don't know what Colonel who's ever of actually is. But A, I doubt his fingerprints lead to anything useful, and you don't have those. And a name he used on the internet?
Yeah, well.
Oh, I'm sure that's accurate. Very sure. Facebook makes you, like, double swear that it's your real name. And those were people who, again, they're regrettably patriots for another team.
Clearly
And they're
not
very
too
good at
often,
this.
because I knew a horse who had a
Mm-hmm.
Facebook account.
Yeah, horse, dogs, cats,
Yeah.
lions, and tigers and bears.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So, like, comment, and subscribe for more bummers, the internet.
Yep.
But we're going to get a pirate airship named Yacht. You know you want that.
Oh yeah, of course.
It'll
you'd
be just
want
like one of
that.
your fantasies of the final kind or whatever.
And we're like that much closer to curing diabetes, so yay, or at least type 1.
Yep.
So yay for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do worry that's going to lead to an argument about like the responsibility of type 2 diabetes, which I don't think you can show them as many commercials about the greatness of chips and then be surprised they ate a number of chips.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm not sure how much yeah.
I mean, hell, sodas exist because Prohibition said, we probably can't label them as mixers, huh?
That's true.
No, they're for children. It's great. It's weird that if you pour rum in them, they also taste good.
Who'd have thought?
Our scientists, our best men are working to make that untrue. Whatever, brought to you by Lucky Strikes.
Oh no.
Almost, just almost.
Oh, they're gross. Wow, Slims are cool.
Chesterfields.
Every brand, not your brand, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that fine, slightly fruity flavor of unlit tobacco.
All right, so
Come on, Philip Morris, give me some money. I'll sell cigarettes. I don't
Right.
care. Exxon, hook me up.
So no,
Like-
it was kind of a short night, but
Yeah.
we were really scraping the bottom of the barrel. I tried to like have you talk up your Egypt thing, but you were just not having it.
I'm glad they
No,
didn't
I thought
think.
it was cool they opened the Avenue of the Sphinxes.
No, but you had this whole thing written out, and I was like, yeah, no, that's good.
And I'm
And
going to
then,
stop doing that.
then you were
Yeah,
just like,
She thinks that's notes like she takes now. It's like those. She writes her own script.
Yes.
I do, because
Yeah.
you
I don't
guys
judge
want
you.
me to produce a show. I will produce it. This
Yeah.
is
This
my
is how
production.
she does it. That's cool. Not a problem.
I'm just hoping we get big enough I can sell out.
What do you mean sell out?
DuPont, give me some money. I will totally sell them a drinkable plastic.
Yeah, no, I'm
Whatever,
all about-
you like
I'm all about selling.
whoever.
Yeah,
Brain pills.
Just give me fucking money, man. I don't care.
I'll sell anything you want.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie to them.
no.
But
There's certainly some.
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
certainly some things that I would not sell.
colloidal silver. There's some stuff. Yeah, I agree. Otherwise, I'd be televangelist selling you oily nonsense. Well,
no, and if
selling
I
your
ever
grandma
found a
oily
product
nonsense.
that we were pushing was not everything they claimed to be, I would.
I
certainly
intend
drop
to
out of that.
wring some of those products out of the company before I start saying something nice. Like, okay, send me some to try.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
All right,
So you're not total mercenaries.
No. We have
Okay, now,
standards.
shit.
I have standards. I don't know about him, but
Yes, I have very strict standards for the things I will say.
Okay.
And I probably wouldn't put a village to the torch for anything less than an amount of money no one's going to pay me.
Right.
So there's rules.
Okay.
Give me $1 billion, though.
yeah, there's a lot of
Game
things I would
fucking
do or
on.
say
Stand
for
back.
$1 billion.
Whatever. Give me
Give me $1 billion and hold my beer.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, watch this shit.
Hey guys, I'm gonna borrow the pirate airship named Yacht.
Right.
I'll be right back. Wow. Ka-ching.
Just playing fucking old school rap, like.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
I wanted airships. So
As
bad.
always, it has been a pleasure. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Send me your oddly spelled names or your friends' names or any name you find on the interwebs you want to hear me try to pronounce. Because we all know I suck at it.
Send me a hoodie full of 20s, the internet.
Fucking do
I'll hook
it.
you up.
Yeah.
I'll sell you a watch.
Yeah, we'll talk about you, whatever.
I bought a watch that way once.
Anyway,
Is it any good?
It was pretty.
There you go.
Yeah.
we love you all, and we'll see you back
And that's
here.
really the only point of watches.
It really was. I
No
wore
one's
it
looking
even
at your
after
watch like, hold on, I gotta tilt my head to check what time it is.
I
Let's
wore
get-
it long after it quit working. Right.
Yeah.
I wore it because it looked good.
Yeah.
And I didn't stop doing that until the gold case and band began to turn green.
No, that's fair.
And that's the point at which I threw it away.
Nope. I got a
Right.
couple of just awesome dress watches that I wear if I have to dress up, and
Yeah.
probably a place that won't let me bring brass knuckles.
Yep.
So
Don't.
we'll see you
use
back
brass knuckles,
here
you know.
tomorrow night on Boomer Rex Tonight.